The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Well, it's Tuesday, the 9th day of January 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Maddox Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman, and Maya Palacio will be with you in a bit to bring you the latest in her news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. It's the second show of the new calendar year, folks. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And we have a good one today. And a happy Tuesday to you today, Suzanne Ingham. Greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. We have a good one today as we welcome our good friend, Adam Scott. He's the CEO of BermudAir, back on the show. We're discussing their first 100 days in business. And folks, if you watch this show regularly, you know I have my bias. You know that I continuously say, whether it's on Twitter, whatever social media platform I use, LinkedIn, or even on this show, that we need this airline to work for Bermuda. We want this airline to work for Bermuda. And the question this morning is going to actually reflect tourism and us, not the airline, not the government, not the BTA, but us as a community. Our tourism product and people coming to Bermuda and appreciating Bermuda is only as strong as us, the people who basically show them who we are and what we are. So the daily play is a remember when. So I don't have a colleague today. So I guess the first person who answers it correctly will go into a draw. We'll go into a draw to see who gets a voucher on Friday. How's that? Yeah. So that's what we'll do. And please do not forget, folks, if you have not already, please subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right. Well, let's just jump right into it. Good morning to you, B. Denise Hollis. Thank you all for tuning in. So let's get into it. The question of the morning today. Again, we have Adam Scott, BermudAir's CEO, joining us, and you can get your questions ready, any questions that you have. But the question of the morning today is, how can the community help to improve tourism in Bermuda in 2024? Like, what can we do to improve tourism in Bermuda in 2024? That's your question right there. What do you believe we can do in 2024 to improve tourism in Bermuda? When I was growing up, I'm going to pick on my family. I remember every Saturday night, I used to want to hang out with my uncle and my cousins, because my uncle, while he, had his own construction company, he always had jobs in hotels playing the band, right? As I got older, I would go to Hamilton Princess and watch Robert Edwards and Jamie doing live band. And that's, from child, that's why I tell people, when you ask me what I like to do, if it's not stand-up comedy, which is something I just started to like in the last 5 years, it would be live band. So that's something that a lot of people may say. I know you have the Hines brothers who may do live bands still. I'm not sure where if they do, but those are the kind of experiences that I believe a lot of us would love to see in Bermuda again. But what do you believe? Like, how can the community help to improve tourism in Bermuda in 2024? Look, we've got something that people have been screaming about for years. We've got an airline servicing Bermuda, right? Now we need to do a couple things. We need to get people on that airline to Bermuda. But once they're in Bermuda, what are we going to do not only to keep them, but to keep them entertained, sorry, but to get them to come back? Let's think about that. What can the community do? What can we do? How can the community help to improve tourism in Bermuda in 2024? What can we do? What are your thoughts on that? Good morning to you, Larry Marshall says, good morning, TDH family. What can we do? I said live bands. Showing we have a lot of different local musicians that from Wendell Shine Hayward, right? Robert and Jamie Edwards. We've got Jesse, right? Jesse still represents, I believe he was down Elbow the last time I saw him during the summer, right? Jesse Seymour. We've got so many local artists that I don't even know. Original Live Wires, right? Another one. But what else can we do? I'm going to put some people on the spot. I love what Rashida Godwin and her husband, Winston Godwin, their company, Titan Tours, Titan Express. I believe there's a lot of young businesses, different businesses and vendors. We've got Dutch Pups, offering to keep people cool when they get off the cruises. What ideas do you have, audience? What can we do? What can we do? Let's go to the audience. How can the community help to improve tourism in 2024? Suzanne Ingham says, lower the cost, more cost efficient, more people will want to come. But this isn't about cost. This is about, I guess that's one thing, but this is about experience. The community can't necessarily lower the cost you're speaking about, right? What can we as the community do? What is it that we can do to enhance the experience that people are going to have in Bermuda? That's the question. Like, what can we do? Suzanne Ingham says, yes, live bands. I love the steel bands or even solo steel bands. Yes, there was a guy, I don't remember his name. He done steel bands. What was his name? Help me out, audience. He done steel bands. But remember in the airport many years ago, probably before some people's time, I ain't calling their names, but many years ago, there was a local band that would be playing the steel band as people arrived in the arrivals terminal. That was something unique. Truthfully, I mean, you all may hate me for saying this. I think we're past that. I think we're past that part. So I would probably be more for it in, I guess, a hotel. But folks who travel, Bermudians are travelers. What have you seen in other destinations that you love, that you think, you know what, as a community, if we can do this, we can get that right, people would want to stay in Bermuda longer. They would want to come back. Then when they come back, they would want to bring their friends, their family. Like, how can we, the community, see? It's easy for us. Let me be clear. It's very easy for us to call the government out and say what they're not doing right. It's easy for us to say what the BTA should be doing. It's easy for us to complain about airlines and hotel prices. But it's actually kind of difficult for all of us to put our heads together and come up with ideas to improve the space that we want to do better in. What are your thoughts? What can we as a community do to improve Bermuda tourism in 2024? Traveling Trotty says, back to our friendliness. We are unfortunately moving away from that. She says, maybe Bermudian cooking classes, right? I like that idea because I'm not quite sure. I could be wrong because I don't have children, but are children near parents and grandparents like they used to be to pick up on old traditional Bermudian recipes? Those kind of things where they can sell things in vendor spaces. Charles H. Jefferson II says, Robert Simons is the solo steel pan player, and that's exactly who I was thinking about. Thank you so much, Charles. Really appreciate that. Again, audience, what are your thoughts? How can the community improve? Like, what can we do to help improve tourism in Bermuda in 2024? What can we do? Do we need more vendors on the street? Do we need to allow gypsy cabs, Ubers to improve the experience? Do we need to invest more in the tourism space? Do we need to relax tax laws and allow people to rent out their homes without the additional taxes for what would they call it? Airbnb? Is that the name of it? The Airbnb, the apartment rental units. Michelle White says promoting authentic local cuisines and create events around food. Restaurants often give their own twists, and that diffuses what our flavors are all about. I agree with you on both fronts, and I do think that the Bermuda Tourism Authority, credit to them, has done a seafood fest. I think, or seafood or chowder. They done one of them. They've also done a swizzle thing, and I think they done one for vegans. Now, I know some of the complaints before were, well, how many people are coming to Bermuda for these? Well, if I'm not mistaken, Turks and Caicos had these fish fries. Those were not necessarily for tourists. Those were for locals. But it caught on with tourists because tourists wanted to do what the locals done. I just think that the Bermuda Tourism Authority needs to be clear about, look, we're creating local experiences that visitors can enjoy too. So that's what needs to happen. So I agree with that. And that second part you said is so true. Restaurants often give their own twist that diffuses what our flavors are all about. That's true. Now, I have no problem with that twist. Let me be clear. I actually like it at most of the restaurants, but you are getting away from the authenticity of some of the meals. So I agree. We have Traveling Trotty says development of more beaches. What does development look like? Because I remember some years ago, they were trying to do something at Shelly Bay Beach and people were up in arms and they went against it. And well, look at Shelly Bay Beach today, you know. Let's see if there's any comments on Instagram. We have nothing but folks on Instagram. You can send your comments through. We'll do our best to check you out as well. Ebony Souza says a complex or market year-round facility that houses all locally made products and merch. I love this idea. Like a consistent vendors market, like just a place where vendors can be year-round. I think that's what you're saying. I love that idea. So if people are in Bermuda and they say, well, I want authentic Bermuda stuff. Just there's a one stop. And I think that's kind of the online version of what Kimwana Eve, I think that's what she was trying to do, if I'm not mistaken, like with what she done during the holidays, creating this space where locals could go, right? And get locally made, authentic Bermudian made products. Sid says a walkable city. Imagine Front Street being completely walkable and being a more green space and with local vendors along the street. Well, if I'm not mistaken, I thought that's what was supposed to happen with Reed Street. I thought that's what was supposed to happen with Reed Street. And I love that idea for Reed Street. I absolutely love that idea for Reed Street. Front Street, I'm not against anything if we believe it can work. I'm going to be honest. We have to be open to even things that make us uncomfortable. I think Front Street is a risky one, but I think it's worth a shot. Let's brainstorm, have some conversations. But thank you for that, Sid. Again, question of the morning, folks. How can the community help to improve tourism in Bermuda in 2024? Anthony Pete says, one of the positive experiences for visitors is to invite them to your home. Make a breakfast, dinner, and friends for life. Anthony Pete, that is something that made Bermuda tourism back in the day, right? That's something that, now, let's be honest. Some people don't even want nobody in the house. Let's be honest. Some people don't even want the relatives in the house, right? But no, I think all jokes aside, that is something that that's what really separated Bermuda from so many other places, and that people felt comfortable and safe going to the home of a Bermudian. Traveling Trotty says host a weekend of events targeting Black fraternities and sororities. That's interesting. It's worth it. I think they just had the Howard University swim team in Bermuda too. Like, why not have a group of swim teams? So those kind of experiences. We have Kia Vernay BDA says Bermuda could be a great beacon for wellness recovery, pretty nature spots, more serenity, meditation classes, good hospitality. There's a huge rise in people seeking solutions for their health. Yeah, I work in a place where they're focusing on wellness. Wellness is huge. I don't want to speak out of turn. Maybe the Bermuda Tourism Authority is working on something. But wellness is huge right now, folks. It's huge. People are looking for places to go where, believe it or not, you know how you all say, oh, Bermuda's boring, it's nothing to do. There are people who are actually looking for places to go where it's quiet and nothing to do. I'm just saying. Charles H. Jefferson II says, one idea that the premier had that I thought was a good idea, just one? Just one idea the premier had? He says, one idea I thought the premier had that I thought was a good idea is fish fry and swizzle events at somewhere like Admiralty House on Friday nights. I love that. I love that. I think that is as local as you can get when it comes to an Admiralty House fish fry and swizzle. Yeah. So I think we look, I think Bermudians, we know what we have to do. I've said this to Maya, I've said this to Sancha, I've said it to everyone on this show. I believe anyone who goes to work for someone else has the skill set to do it for themselves. So just like we have the ideas, we know what we have to do to improve our tourism product. It comes down to execution and courage and the will to want to do things. And this is not shaming anyone who doesn't go and become an entrepreneur. It's not shaming anyone who doesn't feel comfortable sharing their ideas to improve Bermuda tourism or sharing, ways that they can impact it. It's not shaming you. I'm really just trying to encourage you and inspire you to share what it is that you believe can help, because it will help Bermuda in the end. Again, the question of the morning, we've got someone Instagram, so I'm just going to read it from Instagram if you don't mind. So we've got Mummy Chula 50. Oh, Instagram names are going to get me, folks. Says, highlight local film companies, art shows, stage performances. Yeah, that's a good one. Troika, right? That was great. Imagine selling that as a part of an experience for Bermuda, right? How many do we know? Where did we promote that to people flying to Bermuda? There's the pantomime and all these great plays during the holidays. Like, are we promoting those? Mummy Chula 50 also says sell experiences. Absolutely. Absolutely. Anyone else on Instagram, feel free to share. I'm not trying to cut you out, but the comments don't yet come up on our screen. Anthony Pete says, I see lots of vacant buildings, vending potential for revenue for local vendors. I probably shouldn't share Maya and I's secret, but Maya and I have these discussions all the time. There's closing schools. What's being done with Heron Bay? Maybe turn Heron Bay into vendors market station, right? Where visitors can go. Renee Simmons says, whenever I travel, I promote Bermuda myself. In my sessions with groups throughout Europe, Africa, and Middle East, I promote Bermuda by posting videos of the island, perhaps an annual taste of Bermuda. Well, we do have a taste of Bermuda. The city of Hamilton puts that on, right? So we do have that. Michelle White says, pool all of these ideas and yes, spread them around the island. There are parks, vacant buildings, etc., that are underutilized, but it takes organizing. It doesn't have to be only the BTA. And that's my point this morning, right? We can complain and give suggestions and get frustrated at the government and the BTA every day of the year. We really can. But we also have to take some responsibility. We have to take some responsibility as well. It's our community. Let's go to one more comment before we bring Maya in for the Daily Hour News Break. And I'm so happy that we do have Adam Scott coming on from BermudAir today. First 100 days, folks. And, just like Bermuda tourism, the fate of this airline is down to us. Like Renee Simmons just said, she goes to the various continents. She's promoting Bermuda herself. Word of mouth. You know what they used to say, word of mouth was the best form of marketing, right? Let's do it. Since BermudAir has been in existence, I have taken it from South Florida instead of going to Miami and taking the American Airlines flight. I have taken it directly to Bermuda. I sit on this show all the time and I tell you all that I'm gonna go broke one day because I keep trying to put my money where my mouth is. But you know what? It's a sacrifice I'm willing to make to ensure that I'm doing what I can to inspire all of us to do what we can to help ourselves. Charles H. Duffs II says, rate Anthony Pete's idea. Airbnb has an experiences on the website that people could market breakfast, lunch, and dinner at their home. I've never done it, but I know people who have and loved it. And Anthony Pete says, market our people, show the world consistently our people. Folks, let's bring Maya Palacio in for the Daily Hour news break. Again, we have the CEO of BermudAir, Adam Scott, on after that. Stick with us. By the way, before we bring Maya, if you've appreciated the discussion this morning, please do us one favor while the intro for the news is playing. Give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. And make sure you share this conversation with your family, your friends, your colleagues. Send it via WhatsApp or whatever to ensure that they don't miss the opportunity to engage with the CEO of BermudAir coming up after the news break.
Good morning. Good morning.
Greetings, MP. How are you?
Oh, it's been a great morning.
Well, I love to hear. You know, MP, I meant to tell you, yesterday, I got quite a few messages after the show saying, my God, Maya looked great in hair. And I was just like, okay, so let me bring my comb this morning and try to look a bit better. I just felt like, what am I, chopped liver? I thought I looked presentable.
It's okay. It's okay. It's just a lot that I can do with my hair that you can't, Jamal. So it's fine.
I mean, yeah. Let me talk to my father about that. But yeah, we'll get it. But MP, we were talking about tourism this morning, and I told him one of our secrets when you were went out just now, and I said, "Oops." Well, thankfully you didn't hear it, but I'm going to tell you since you don't go back. But I said, Maya and we had this discussion, why not use one of the vacant schools, right, to create a market? That's one of Maya and I's secrets, but I just told it. She knows I have a big mouth, so But what are your thoughts? What can we do, Maya? What are we?
Let's see. I really love the idea about talking about the food element that Bermuda has that a lot of places do not. And I thought that was a really smart idea to bring that in because I remember looking at, I'm always going to TikTok because that's what entertains me, right? My generation. But there was this video on TikTok of these people who were, I think, were in Italy, and they had this pasta making class, but the class was so fun. They ended up dancing and drinking and just having a ball. And I'm just like, imagine that, but make it Bermudian. But you're learning to, I don't know, make fish cakes or a great Bermuda fish sandwich or whatever, chowder. And it's just and then you're, enjoying the rum swizzle and the different drinks that we have as well. And then you're just enjoying the music that we have too. It'll be such an experience and a vibe to a teaching class, but in a way that obviously celebrates our culture and you get to feel a lot of it. That impact would be amazing. And I just thought that would be so fun if that was in Bermuda. And like you said, even just having it for our own people, because we often lose that, right? Right now I'm still trying to teach me how to make codfish and potatoes. Because I'm just out here by myself, and I'm just hang on, how long do I salt the fish, and how long do I keep it in the fridge? I'm so it's things that I would love to learn like that. So yeah, I think the food element would be amazing.
See what I said earlier, folks? People not around their parents and grandparents, we're both guilty of it, to follow and understand.
I can make a good Johnny bread.
All right, I know that. I mean, I can put the codfish in the water to soak. No, okay, let's get into today's news. Okay, enough about me.
Well, good morning, everyone. This is your Daily Hour News Break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Now, I want to start this morning by correcting myself for yesterday's news because Bermuda did not have 11 road fatalities in 2023. They had 13. We had 13 road fatalities. The names that were missing off that list were Mr. Kirkland Butterfield and Ms. Lavella Cruz. So apologies for that, but those are the corrections that need to be added. So that makes the total death count for Black men with road fatalities in Bermuda as 8 instead of 7.
8 of the 13. Wow.
Yes. Now, in other news, as we move on to more these talks, the Bermuda Police Service has confirmed the identity of the 17-year-old victim in the fatal road traffic collision as Jeremiah Phillips. Mr. Phillips succumbed to his injuries in the collision, which occurred around 3:30 a.m. yesterday, Sunday, the 7th of January, on Vermont Road, just south of the junction with Vermont Road in Smiths Parish. At the time, Mr. Phillips was riding a motorcycle with a pillion passenger traveling north along Vermont Road. He was negotiating a sweeping left hard bend when the motorcycle he was riding became involved in a collision with 3 other motorcycles traveling in the opposite direction. His pillion passenger, a 15-year-old male, remains listed in critical condition in the intensive care unit at the hospital. A 19-year-old male who was riding on the other motorcycle involved in the collision was attended to the hospital for his injuries and has been discharged. The BPS has begun an investigation into this matter, and anyone with information is asked to contact PC Victor Fishington 717-0836.
Yeah, and I'm just going to repeat what I said yesterday. I don't want to be a broken record. I don't want to be insensitive, but I do want to send love and comfort to the community, family, and friends of this young gentleman. And I just hope that we don't. This isn't a continuation of what we've been experiencing year over year.
Yeah. Again, I could reiterate the same thing. On other news, the Bermuda Hospital Board announces that they'll be having a raffle run by the Bermuda Blood Donor Center, actually, starting on January 2nd. If an existing blood donor brings another person who hasn't donated before to donate blood, both the existing and the new donor will be put in a draw for one of 6 $250 MasterCard gift certificates, and the draw will be made on Valentine's Day. So if you're looking to donate or haven't donated before, this is a chance for you to do so, give back, and possibly win a really nice prize as well in the meantime.
Yeah, go give some blood, folks.
Have you gifted blood before?
When I did try to go, they told me that I couldn't because I had gotten a tattoo within like that some time period. So I have tried to do it before, and I think they hurt my feelings. But I never.
So you never went back because I hurt your feelings?
I'm being honest with you. I'm just like, oh, okay, so I ain't good enough. And then I saw like a post by Cristiano Ronaldo one time about him saying that the reason he doesn't have any tattoos is so that he can give blood often. So yes, Traveling Trotty is inspiring because she's always, as she says, I'm a regular blood donor. She always gives blood. But yeah, they made me feel like my blood was not good enough by telling me that I couldn't give it because I had marks on my body.
Now, Jamal.
That's how I took stuff personal back then. So, I took it to heart.
Well, imagine someone coming up to you and saying, "Hey, Jamal, I really do need your blood because it's the only thing that can help me."
I will give it. I will give it. And see, Shonette Bell made me feel better. She says they changed the requirements. No.
Yeah, it's not immediate. You just have to wait a little bit.
They're not discriminating against me because of my body work. No. Okay.
All right. In other news, and this news is still very relevant and very important to the community, especially the sports community, but the God of Bermuda is joining global sports communities in mourning the passing of Mrs. Judy Simons, a distinguished figure in Bermuda's sporting legacy. Mrs. Simons, who is the former Bermuda Olympic Association president, has left an indelible mark on the Bermuda Olympic Association, the Commonwealth Games Federation, the International Olympic Committee, and numerous other sporting organizations. A force in the world of sports, Judy Simons dedicated over 25 years to the service of the CGF and the Olympic movement. Her journey from a thriving field hockey and tennis career to becoming a pivotal figure within the Olympic Association reflected her unwavering commitment to sporting excellence and community development. Recognized for her exceptional contributions, Judy Simons was recently honored by the Central Carib Sports during the San Diego Pan Am Games, which was really quite recent. Her efforts in advancing regional sports development stood as a testament to her dedication and passion for developing excellence in the sporting arena. So deep passion and deep condolences to her and the sporting community of Bermuda.
Yeah, and as this is an Olympic year, I just want to encourage all athletes who are aspiring to make it through the Olympics. Let's do it in her honor. Let's go and represent.
Exactly. And closing out, as we still know on the island, Raquel Sofia Sousa Career is still missing. And if anyone knows about her whereabouts, to please call 29500. Pardon?
I'm sorry. I'm not making light of the situation, but because it seems that we get some so often, I always think that they found her.
I can double check that. I never got a email this morning.
Maya, I'm sorry about that. No, that's a community conversation we need to have again as well. Yeah.
Yes, I agree. I agree with that sentiment. Yes. In other news, we're just going to hop right into the weather, guys. But the weather today is actually looking pretty decent, which is good because we haven't really had that great of weather. But variable sunshine throughout the day, winds a little bit, but not too strong, just moderately strong. And we have a high of 66 degrees.
All right. Thank you for that, Maya. So Maya, real quickly, so you spoke about weather, and I have to remember that you're not talking about weather here. So outside, you know, I depend on if I'm going to go for my jog, depending on what the weather looks like in the morning. So it was like 62 this morning. No, sorry, high 60s. And when I heard this, dang, I'm like, what is that? Is it rain? Because, you know, rain's my excuse not to go for my jog. The wind was so bad. And, you know, I'm clumsy already. Like just walking in a straight line, like I wouldn't be able to pass a test and not drinking. But I was running. And do you know how many times I almost fell over 2 miles this morning, Maya? Because the sticks and the trees, because of the wind, like it was a really tough one. And so I'm saying all that to say, folks, if you're ever looking for an excuse to not work out, do it before Maya's news break so that she don't tell you the weather's great. Just feel like it's a bad day out there. Because I should have went with my first mind. I heard that wind. I should have made myself believe it was raining and just not go. It's better than that knee injury I almost got this morning. But anyway, speaking of knee injuries, Maya, you know what today is?
No, I don't know what today is.
Okay, it's choreographer day, International Choreographer Day.
Here I am about to say International ACL Day or something.
Well, I'm saying I don't have the knees to dance. So anybody that ever sees me out and I'm just going like this, it's my knees, folks. So International Choreographer Day. If you ever see your boy, just know it's my knees. All right? So now that said, audience, what's your favorite kind of dance? Maya, what's your favorite kind of dance?
I don't want to be cliche. I like looking at this type of dance. I obviously can't dance it. Used to way back, but I love ballet. I love watching a good ballet dance, and obviously the gumbes. I gotta give it like that, but it's more the rhythm for me. But loving to see the choreography as you know the teams get out there. But yeah.
Yeah, audience, let us know what's your favorite kind of dance. I will say honestly, being in the US the last 20-something years, I learned more about like a lot of Latin dances. Is it bachata or something? And the other one is salsa. I've seen a lot of that. While growing up in Bermuda, I saw a lot of like the African dance groups. And with the internet, especially TikTok and Instagram, you see so many different kinds of dances from across the world. And I think to me, International Choreographer Day, my hope is that we see nothing but TikTok videos of the various dances. What I saw the other day, have you heard of the Crip Walk?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry. But the Crip Walk, there were people complaining that I guess South Koreans were doing the Crip Walk. Oh, doing this would get you this back in the day. Folks, honestly, culture, the way it works nowadays, it catches on, it's popular, people are going to do it. Remember the Harlem Shake? Well, don't forget the Hartman Shake.
Oh, Lord.
All right, folks, thank you.
Have a guess.
Folks, answer that question now. What's your favorite kind of dance? It's the Hartman Shake. Maya, we'll see you tomorrow.
You'll see me tomorrow.
All right, folks. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with Adam Scott. Adam Scott's going to let us know what his favorite kind of dance is. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's, I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
All right. Welcome back to the big show. I'm Jamal Hart, and it's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Without further ado, folks, let's bring in our guest for the day. We've got our good friend joining us again. He is the CEO of BermudAir, the airline that we claim as our own. Please give a warm TDH welcome. Let's get our crowd ready. Adam Scott. Welcome back. How are you?
Very good. How are you? Thank you very much for having me back, Jamal.
No problem. Well, first off, I've got to ask you before we jump into anything, what's your favorite dance?
Well, I've been thinking about this over your commercial break, and I have to say, for our holiday party this year, we had the Gombes, and that was actually very entertaining. I've really seen it before. So right now, just because I'm feeling, a wannabe Bermudian, I'm going to say Gombes.
All right, so the Gombes. See, that's my excuse again. My knees, folks. If you don't see me dancing Gombes, you just see me, like this in one spot. It's my knees. So, Adam, if you invite me somewhere ever, my knees. Just remember my knees. All right.
Sounds good.
All right. So thank you also, because Adam did contribute. It was Robert Simons, the Steel Pan Entertainment in Bermuda. So he is an awesome person that we can use. But let's just jump right into the conversation. Again, I've been very clear about my bias when it comes to BermudAir. With or without you around, again, you're so busy, you probably wouldn't know what I'm saying or typing. So this is not that BermudAir. And we have to say this on social media, especially YouTube. We are not being paid to say this. Let me be very clear. Whatever compliments that I give are mine and from my own experiences. But I have quite enjoyed my experiences. Obviously, there are things that, nothing's perfect. There's going to be some challenges, and we'll get to those. But just speak to the audience. Let us know, what were the first 100 days like for the airline?
It's a great question. When I've been asked it before, I've always said, it's been fantastic, and the the engagement with the community, the support that we've had from the community, the team, what we've been able to accomplish in the first 100 days is really. It's outstanding from my perspective, and I'm really proud of our team here that have made all of this happen. But of course, it wouldn't be without the support of the community and the passengers that fly with us, that have enabled the success. So I have to, big shout out to everybody for supporting us. I think that it has been not without its challenges. Starting an airline from scratch, doing it in more or less record time is a challenge. But as we've launched, we've also had teething issues that we've batted away and we've tried to resolve on a regular basis. And I think people have supported us through that, and of course we're learning every day. So I would say the 100 days has been. It's been amazing. It's been a great learning curve for everybody. For us as a team. It's really brought everybody together, and I think we're really excited about what the future holds for us and how we learn from the first 100 days, how we make the next 100 days even better than the first, and how we continue to evolve and best serve the community and best serve a product that all of Bermuda can be proud of.
Indeed. And you mentioned just now, obviously you were quick out of the gates. Obviously, there's going to be challenges. What have been some of the challenges, and what are you doing to overcome them?
I think perhaps the biggest challenge, if I reflect on it, is it's communications, for example. So there's a lot of moving parts as you would expect, and for us, we're a small airline, we're a small team. We've got we're dependent on a lot of third-party providers. So, for example, in all of our outstations, whether that's New York, Boston, or Fort Lauderdale, or future markets, we are dependent on third parties, and I mean ground handlers, but we're also dependent on our own technology. So. We want to be able to communicate with our passengers in real time and let them know if there's a delay or if there's a technical issue, so that we can update people and let them know so that they can plan in advance, and so if necessary they can make the best decisions for themselves. And so we're implementing technology. I would encourage everybody to download our app. It's available on the App Store and the Google Store or the Android Store. I never get that right, but effectively we're going to push out push notifications for passengers so that they get more regular updates. We want to communicate with people and let them know when they can check in, when they can't, etc. And so that's I think that's been one of the challenges from a customer service perspective. I think but otherwise it's really just getting out there, getting brand recognition. It's been very successful here on the island, of course. But we also need help in our outstations. So getting through to the communities in Fort Lauderdale and Boston and New York that we're here and that we're doing regular services is all stuff that'll be helpful for us, and we'll have to just figure it out as we go.
Indeed. And folks, if you have any questions or comments for Adam Scott, CEO of BermudAir, please send them through. We'll get through as many questions as possible, as this is the place where you get to engage with folks that normally you'll just read about or hear from in the news. So look, not long ago, there was a decision made by BermudAir to, make economy seats a permanent fixture on the aircraft. Why was this a necessary change to consider and then make?
Well, I'd like to call it force majeure, but force majeure that ended in, I think, a very positive result. So, as you know, when we first launched, we aimed to be an all business class carrier, and that was based upon our understanding of the market, based upon where we saw, the opportunity, and it was really predicated on us getting, this very fancy business class suite, our aisle suite. That we will still ultimately introduce into our aircraft. Of course, the force majeure bit comes in because we've had delays. We've experienced a lot of delays in terms of the delivery of those pods and the delivery of the aisle class product. And so, we wanted to get out there. We made a commitment that we were going to connect the island with a number of destinations, and we wanted to get out there. We wanted to, make sure that we had everything else, up and running. Again, a lot of moving parts on the commercial side, on the operations side, on the regulatory side. And so we launched with the standard configuration, the 88 seats, as a force majeure event. But we ultimately, used that opportunity to really get a better understanding of the community, what the needs were, what business would support, and certainly, it transpired very quickly that actually there's a good demand here for regular, efficient, reliable service to the eastern seaboard of the U.S. and Canada. And so, the fact that we ultimately have now pivoted to being a dual class model, to incorporating economy for our long-term plans and the long-term vision is really just a testament to us getting to understand the dynamics here much more than we originally had. Again, everything to begin with, it's a paper exercise. We put it up on a board and we figure out where best to go from there. But we've actually been learning in real time, and so we've been taking on board the feedback from the community as well. We hear you. We hear what the community wants. And so that'll be reflected in decisions that we make going forward as well, whether that's new routes, whether that's product innovations, product changes. One of the things that we've done with the transition over to dual class, we've had to figure out what the differences are going to be from a product perspective between business and economy. And so we're still refining that. We're still looking to make enhancements, really to make sure that we continue to bring through that flavor of Bermuda in terms of the onboard product, the onboard offering, and just the way that our team and our whole team interacts with passengers, whether it's the cabin crew, the flight crew, customer service team, or even it's myself directly. And so we're learning, but we're really excited and optimistic about what the future holds for us.
Indeed. Got a lot of questions from the audience, and we'll get to the questions in the audience in a second. So just real follow up on that. So is there, like, the status of the business class airline experience, is that completely going away?
No, not at all. So right now we've got dual class. We have 14 seats at the front of the aircraft, which is actually it's 28 physical seats, but we sell it in the same way that we did originally, where one seat is left vacant through the process. But we also re-pitched the seats. So in the front of the aircraft, we provided the business class area with an extra 4 inches of pitch. And then in the rear of the aircraft, we added 2 inches of pitch. So if you experienced us before December the 1st, you should notice a nice increase in terms of your knee space between the seats, whether you're at the front of the aircraft or the back of the aircraft. We inserted a divider, and then we have made some adjustments to the product. But the way that I would really, think about it, although the physical seat has not materially changed at the front, with the exception of the extra couple of inches of pitch, it's not dissimilar to what you get, for example, with Euro business when you're traveling in Europe. So ultimately, we still plan to introduce our aisle class, our game-changing business class product. But as I'm sure many of your listeners are aware, these things unfortunately do have delays. They're beyond our control. So we're trying to do as best we can. What we really want to focus on, and what we're using this time for as well, is to make sure that the soft product and actually the product that people really come to love and understand, which is getting smiles from our cabin crew, getting a great onboard product. All of those, those key elements to a fantastic service delivery are things that we can do and that we're very focused on, in the meantime and before we have the aisle class product, which is going to be a beautiful and I think really a game-changing business class offering.
All righty. And audience, just by engaging, yes or no, audience, have you experienced BermudAir as of yet? Yes or no? Just want to get a gauge of how many people in the audience have experienced BermudAir so far. Yes or no? Have you been on the airline? Yes or no? Just a simple yes or no in the audience. And while you're answering that, one of the questions that came up when you were on previously was about benefits and mileage programs. How far away are we from a benefits and mileage program?
I wrote it down on the board again this morning. So as everybody comes into the office, they can see my list of priorities. And I think FFP, which is frequent flyer program, I think it's number 2 on my list. And so we will be implementing a program. We're gonna do something I think that's relevant for the community. I'd really like to see a day where we've got everybody in Bermuda signed up, and we want to do something that's clear, transparent, and that's very flexible. And so we are working on it. It's on a huge list of things to do, but it's right up at the top.
All righty. I think that's what the people want to hear. One other thing, the status of BermudAir for people who have global entry or TSA pre-check.
Yeah, this is a regular question, and unfortunately, this is really, it has been out of our hands up until this point. We've done everything that we can to make it work, and we had hoped that we'd have it by the end of December. We've now been told by TSA that we should have it. I believe it's towards the end of March. Maybe it's March the 22nd. I'd have to check the exact date. But we are in line. We are going to get it. Just to put it in perspective, though, and just to keep in mind how quickly we have moved and evolved. There was another major airline that announced that they had TSA pre just a week or so ago, and that process took them 18 months, and we'll have done it, in just a handful of months. So it is coming, ladies and gentlemen, and we're excited about it because it's one of those issues that gets highlighted to me on a very regular basis.
All righty, it's coming, folks. So we did ask how many people have flown or experienced BermudAir so far. So we've got Michelle White. She says no. Sharina Marshall says yes. We've got a not yet from Suzanne Ingham. Not yet, traveling Trotty, like you are the travel queen. We've got to do something about that. Marquita Lee says not yet. We said have a no, I will in May. From Bermuda Girl, we've got a no, Manuela John. We've got a yes, Charles H. Jeffers II. We've got a not yet.
Mr. Jeffers. Yeah.
We've got a not yet, Kathy Rogers. We've got no NTS. We've got Chanelette De Silva says, yes, I traveled on it twice. And Sherilyn Johnson says, I had a great experience with BermudAir. I'm looking forward to my next trip with you.
Thanks, Sherilyn.
Yes. And Charles said he loved it. And Charmaine says, yes. And we've got a not yet B. Denise Hollis. So let's go to the audience, and we've got some questions, right? Let's go to the audience and see what they're asking. But I want to get back to all those not yets, because it seems like more no's not yets than yeses at this point. But Michelle White says, Adam, congratulations on your first 100 days. What does growth look like for BermudAir? Number of flights, aircrafts, destinations?
So my plan is to make some announcements over the coming week or two regarding some new routes, and we're very excited about that. Again, we've taken a lot of feedback from the community. We have 2 aircraft right now. What we'll be looking to do is to optimize our schedule, to introduce a couple of new routes, and to better serve Bermuda, both in terms of inbound and outbound traffic. I think, over the near term, and let's call it the midterm, we definitely want to introduce additional aircraft. I think I've been quoted, as saying we've had real interest and real traction in other parts of the business, like, for example, doing charter work, moving sports teams around. We want to support that. We've learned a lot, again, about what makes Bermudians tick and what we need, to facilitate Bermuda's participation in sports events, etc. And so I think aircraft number 3 and longer term aircraft number 4, those will all be things that will be coming on. But I think also as well, I wouldn't be surprised if our route map increased quite dramatically over the coming months, and I think that again, we're learning where people are coming from, where they're going to, and we're going to try and keep all of that in mind. And we've taken a lot of feedback from the public over the months as well, and so we'll continue to embrace that feedback and make sure it's taken into consideration as we make our plans going forward.
Indeed. We have another interesting question. Kieran BDA says, with the increase in natural disasters and the unforeseen future of another global crisis, what is BermudAir's backup plan if it experiences setbacks in these issues?
Well, I mean, I have to say, I can't think of another startup airline that experienced 3 hurricanes in as many weeks. And of course, if your viewers will recall, our launch date was delayed because of a hurricane. So I think I could say we're pretty well positioned as far as as far as natural disasters are concerned. We had a really interesting experience, and again, I know that we're a startup, so we've had some teething issues. I think for the most part, we've run a really efficient and pretty awesome organization. Our technical team, our ops guys have been just fantastic. But we had an experience a couple of weeks ago, huge weather situation in Boston, fog grounded basically all outbound aircraft in Boston, more or less for an entire day. But we actually reacted. We put 2 flights together, Boston and Westchester together. We flew everybody to Westchester. We dropped off those passengers in Westchester, picked up those passengers that wanted to come back to Bermuda, and we did a stop en route back home in Boston. And so actually people got to their destination. They were a little bit delayed, admittedly, but I think we were one of the first aircraft back in Boston as Boston opened up after the fog, and we got everybody to their destination. So we're dealing well with natural disasters or natural weather issues, I should say. Hopefully there won't be any major natural disasters to deal with, but we're certainly learning weather patterns, etc. I think in terms of global issues, one of the great things about Bermuda is really it's really quite insulated from many of the bigger potential issues out there. So I feel really confident that we're young, we're nimble, and as people have seen thus far, we've pivoted, we've made adjustments where wherever necessary to keep moving in the right direction and to keep growing and to keep providing service to the community. So I'm confident, and I'm confident in our team that we'll deliver that consistency of service and that consistency of service that the island wants and looks for.
All righty, Traveling Charlie, she's asking, will Bermuda Air offer vacation packages targeted for visitors, airfare, and hotel?
It's a great question, and I am absolutely keen to have that in place just as soon as possible. There are some regulatory hurdles that we need to jump through in order to facilitate that, and to be able to cross-sell hotels and car rentals and other items. It's something as well that we're working on together with the various hoteliers on the island and the Hotel Association. But I'm really keen to do that because I'm sitting here. We're sitting here. It's the beginning of January. It's still gorgeous out there. I'd still rather be here than anywhere else in the world. And frankly, we should have our hotels full. We should have our planes full. We should have the restaurants full. And there should be people on the street enjoying, the benefits of this fantastic place. So to the extent that we can help facilitate that by cross-selling and package selling, I think that makes absolute sense, and so we're all in that and fully supportive of that with our partners on the islands to make that happen.
All righty, and we've got you answered this, how many airplanes, and you're probably not going to share because you've got destinations, but Manuela John's asking, any Canadian destinations in the near future?
Well, as a Canadian myself, I can tell you that very frankly, I'd love to have service to Canada, and I can say to your audience that Canada is very near term, I think, and certainly right at the top of my list. From a commercial perspective. It makes sense. We've had a lot of feedback about Toronto. We've had a lot of feedback about Halifax, and so again, it's right up there. And so watch this space.
I think we like the sounds of that. Charles H. Jeffs II is saying, are there any plans to offer a direct flight to the DMV, which is a top 5 originating area for the U.S. For visitors? There has been only a seasonal direct flight in the past.
I have to confess, I can't think what DMV is. Maybe it's morning. Maybe I haven't had my coffee.
That's DC, Maryland, Virginia.
Yes. Sorry. So I said that Canadian markets were right up near the top of my list. There is another market that's actually right at the top of our list. So I'll leave it at there.
All righty. Well, before you head out, I guess, we had a question this morning asking the audience, what can we as a community do to, improve Bermuda tourism in 2024? I'm a believer that it's not up to anyone else to help us when we have the ability, skills, an opportunity to help ourselves, right? But what is Bermuda Air? Like, why would you say Bermuda Air is the best option for those who travel in and out of Bermuda?
I think that we're here to do what's right for business, what's right for Bermuda. Whatever we do as an airline, we're doing it with Bermuda at the center of everything that we do. So if you choose to fly another carrier, and that's absolutely your prerogative, and I understand it, when you've got to connect somewhere else, when you've got to go somewhere specific, that's fine and understood. But I would say that, we are here for Bermuda. We're going to be the first aircraft in after a storm, the last aircraft out, before the storm. We are going to take care of our passengers. If somebody needs to be rebooked on another flight because, we have a technical issue or for whatever reason, we're going to take care of passengers and make sure that they get to their destination. And we're going to be creative. We're going to adjust, like the comment I made about, combining a flight to Westchester in order to get people back to Boston. We had a situation getting people back from Fort Lauderdale. We had a similar, setup. And of course, we're going to do whatever it takes, because we're targeting an audience here in Bermuda, of 65,000 people, and so whatever happens here, and whatever feedback we get, it's real time, it's live, and people will connect with us. They'll make comments wherever they want to on social media, but we're here for the island, and we're here to put Bermuda's best foot forward. And so, I just don't think we're going to get that from other carriers that are not, focused entirely on this, on this great country, this great island. And so, I'm committed personally to doing everything that I can in my power and in the team's power to provide the best experience, the best service, to expand the destinations that we fly to, and to making Bermuda proud. And so, if I can ask people to give me, a chance, to give BermudAir a chance, and to support, the local airline, then that's as much as I can ask for. And I promise you that that we'll do our very best to make sure that that we do what we can, and I will be, humbly appreciative of that for us and for our team.
Alrighty. One last question from the audience before we let you go. Charles H. Jefferson II says, where and how can people send thoughts directly to BermudAir? Like, how can we communicate to engage and give feedback, or even give thanks?
Yeah, so there is a website, there is an email. It's info@flybermudair.com. There are you can reach out directly to our team. And the email addresses are listed on our website. You can give us a call. You can drop me a message on LinkedIn if you like. We're here. And of course, if anybody has wants to reach out to me as well, connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a message, and we'll do our very best to get back and to make sure that we're doing whatever we can to support people and to support the best experience possible for everybody.
All right, Adam Scott, CEO of BermudAir. Honestly, really appreciate you taking time to engage with us this morning. As I stated, without your knowledge, I am a fan. Obviously, with any business, anyone in this audience who has owned a business, big or small, knows that it's not going to be smooth sailing, regardless of how much money you have, how much product or service you have. It's just not a smooth thing. But I will tell you what, I said this earlier, for those on my WhatsApp, you would have seen me share last month a picture. It was a picture of what airlines used to be like back in the 60s, 70s, 80s, and then what airlines are like today. And I had said on this caption, said, well, BermudAir certainly feels like flying in the 60s, 70s, 80s. Now, usually when we say things like that, or something reminds us of that, is not a good thing. This was, because it was the service aspect where you're getting a placemat on your table and you're getting, a good meal. Today, you'd be lucky if you're getting peanuts and a cracker, right? On most airlines. There's something else I want to say before I head out. So I was flying to Bermuda for the holidays in December, and we had a delay, and that we were fine with it. I'll tell you why we were fine with it in the end. Because, traveling to Bermuda, I had to declare so much stuff because people ask you to bring this, bring that, right? Holidays. And we realized when we were sitting waiting for the flight, how much money we saved flying BermudAir simply because we didn't have to worry about the overweight luggage and the additional luggage. It was very easy and smooth. There was no one with an attitude on the counter saying that, oh, I'm sorry, you can't. It was just smooth. So I'm just saying, folks, yeah, there may be some hiccups and some challenges, but the positives that come with this experience, and all those who had shared their experience this morning, Shanalette De Silva, Charles H. Jefferson II, Sherilyn Johnson, Charmaine Richardson, listen to them. Let them share their experiences. I'm telling you, I don't think they're being paid, right? It's honest. It's very direct. It's real. It's a great experience. And I'm grateful that you've taken this chance on Bermuda. And I will do my part as an individual and encourage our audience and our community to really be a part of the solutions that we need for our tourism product overall. So thank you, and we look forward to growing with you as BermudAir continues its rise in the space.
Thank you so much, Jamal. It's been a real pleasure, and I really appreciate your support and your listeners' support, your viewers' support. It's been awesome so far, and I look forward to a fantastic 2024 in front of us as well. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Jamal. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Talk soon. All right. Adam Scott from BermudAir, CEO of BermudAir. Folks, if you appreciated today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Make sure everyone knows. And you know what I want to do? I want to ensure that we turn all of those no's and not yets into yeses. I have experienced BermudAir, and we're going to work on that. But let's take a final break, and we're going to come back with the Daily Play. Obviously, I don't have anyone to get the answer right in studio with me today, so someone's going to be eligible for a draw to get a prize at the end of the week. Stick with us.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Let's kick it off in the footwear department. When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talks, and DeWalt. The list goes on. Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can't be stylish and comfortable at the same time? Speaking of stylish, we also have top-quality running, walking, and workout apparel by Skechers in a variety of sizes for men and women. Cool, breathable, and dry. With our wide selection of Skechers footwear, you'll look great before, during, and after your workout. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
You'll be surprised at everything we have to offer at our huge new retail and wholesale location on Bakery Lane.
All righty. Thanks again to CEO of BermudAir, Adam Scott, for kicking it with us this morning. Appreciate it, folks. If you haven't already, you want to experience that airline. If you appreciated today's conversation with Mr. Scott, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Please share these conversations with your friends, your family, your colleagues. It's a lot of information. Folks, help those folks on those blogs and those pages. You heard it directly from the, I don't like to say the horse's mouth, the CEO's mouth this morning. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medicals, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can have these conversations with you on a daily basis. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Audience, are you ready? It's a remember when. It's a remember when. Are you ready? All right, here's the question. All right, this is an easy one. You should get this. All right. The first answer that shows up on my side of the screen gets the answer, right? The first correct answer. Which nation was split into separate East and West nations after World War II? You all are something else. Leslie White got it first on our screen, so she will be eligible for the prize on Friday, which she has to be present on Friday to win it. Germany, yes, it is the answer. Larry Marshall got it as well. Berlin is in Germany, but Germany is the country. Germany, yes, Charles H. Jeffers, Germany, everyone got it. Michelle White, Shika Reyna, Suzette Ingham, Berlin is in Germany. Suzanne, Germany, yes, Germany. So I did say nation. Okay, just wanted to make sure I said nation to define that it was a country. All right, so it is Germany. So Leslie White, you will be eligible for this week's prize on Friday before we head out. But let me just give you, before you head out on your day, I want to give you some daily inspiration before you head out. I was not prepared for this, but what I will say, and this is your daily inspiration for the day, folks. We must turn to each other and not on each other. Jesse Jackson. And I think that's a quote for all of Bermuda and Bermudians, right? I know on this show I can be very direct and to some people harsh when it comes to the government and the Bermuda Tourism Authority and others. But when I look at Bermuda as a tourist destination, and I look at Adam Scott and BermudAir, they could have chosen so many other places, but they chose us. We've got to work with people who want to work with us. When someone gives us a chance, we need not throw it away. Please don't forget to subscribe on our website, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, and People's Pharmacy, for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. We've got the former leader of the opposition, the Honorable Mark, being on tomorrow. You don't want to miss that. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.